What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Blocks. I'm Coach Lonnie D here with Coach Will Humphreys and Anthony Lewis. And tonight we're joined by San Jose State Associate Head Coach Lamont Johnson. Coach Johnson took junior college route from Long Beach City College to Iowa State, where he competed collegiately before going on to compete professionally, while building a coaching career that has taken him across multiple levels of track and field. Along the way, Coach has also been around some of the most respected minds in the sport, including Charles Ryan, Leo Setto, and Olympic gold medalist Harvey Glance, just to name a few. Tonight, we're diving into sprint philosophy, athletic development, recruiting in the NIL and transfer portal era, the current state of track and field, and much more. Coach Johnson, welcome to Beyond the Blocks.
Man, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing, man? Appreciate y'all having me. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Good to have you, Coach. So we're
Appreciate
just gonna go ahead and dive in, Coach. You came from the Bronx, and you took the junior college route through Long Beach City College before making your way to Iowa State. Iowa State. How much did that journey shape you to become the coach you are today, and how has it helped influence the recruits you look out and sought after for recruiting today?
How the JUCO route shaped me, it toughened me up. I had to become a man the minute I got on that plane. Like things that would normally break the average person couldn't break us. A lot of trial and error, a lot of trials and tribulation. But being at Long Beach City College under now the late Jim Richardson and the late Coach Washington, they taught us everything, what it means to be an athlete, how to prepare, how to be a man away from the track, how to get your finances ready. Coach Washington used to preach that to us every single day. The JUCO route taught us what it means to survive too. Because baby, going to JUCO is like doing a bid, boy. Yo, hey, JUCO ain't for everybody, dog. I'm trying to tell you. It ain't for everybody. The Cali system, there's not scholarships. So, you had to figure out a way how to get your tuition paid, and it got paid. That it got paid. But, you had to fend for yourself. You had to get a side hustle. You had to get a job. You know what I'm saying? You had to make sure you did all your documentation for like your financial aid and your FAFSA. Like you had to grow up real quick. And it molded us to become men, and I take a lot of those lessons into my coaching today. So I preach that to all my young men that I coach. A lot of my young men now are husbands, fathers. I tell them all the time, don't make the mistake Coach made, because baby Coach was outside back in the day. so if you got a good one, keep them. Don't do what we did. So, but other than that, man, it taught me. It really taught me what it meant to be a man. So
I got a question for you. Like, it's real interesting to me that you coming from the Bronx and you end up in California. Like, how did that happen? How did you land on Long Beach as a destination? And how did they find you?
Got you. I'm gonna try to make this story as fast as possible. Okay, so all my teammates already went off to school, and Barton County was on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out where Barton County was. Like, nah, I ain't going there. It ain't happening. Not happening. I would not be able to survive in the middle of nowhere, Kansas.
Yeah.
This is the one time I'm going to admit this out loud. I was terrified to go to Berlin. Because Berlin was producing. I'm like, I'm not going to fit in there. That's the only time. And I have to find myself quick, like, bro, what's wrong with you? But then Central Arizona had a strong possibility. But my mom and my dad just didn't like the way the coaches was talking about how things are going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, not the coaches there now. None of them are there now. It's completely different. So I don't remember who was there at that time. Then my high school coach, God rest his soul, Coach Bill Wagner, he called my mom and said, listen, I got one more spot for him. So you got to trust me on this. is out in California. My mother was adamant about me not going to California. She said, no, I'm not my baby got far. My mother's Jamaican. My dad's Jamaican. My whole family's Jamaican. Everybody, I'm Jamaican. Everybody's Jamaican. And so they going off from pot just going off, going off, going off. My dad tapped my mom on the shoulder, said, come here. 5 minutes later, came out the room. All right, you're going to California. My dad sat back down and was reading his paper. Was flipping through his stuff, just reading it. And my aunt and everybody's happy. Everyone's celebrating. I'm looking at my mom, I was like, come on, my mom said, she said, oh, she don't get off it. She ain't budget. And so the fact that she even came off it that quick, that's how I ended up in California. Then I asked my dad, like years later, I said, Dad, what made y'all decide to allow me to go to California? My dad looked me dead in my face and said, son, I'll let your mother do all the talking, but when it comes down to it, I'll make the final decision. About doing it in front of y'all. That's another manly life lesson that I learned. Never put your woman on the spot in front of people. He pulled her inside, and that was it. Then my dad told me years later, and I definitely appreciate, that moment because it taught me something. So, and my dad said, son, we raised you right. And we had to get you out of New York because New York was going down fast, boy. The gang influence started to infiltrate everywhere. They had to get me out of New York, man, because it was going down. It was bad. So, they got me out of New York. My mother knew. My aunt knew. My aunt looked my mother in the face and told her, that boy ain't coming back to New York, right? And that's when she realized that, okay, he's about to be a man. And she wasn't lying. I haven't moved back to New York since. I go back, but
right.
I like life in America.
It's one of my favorite cities. One of my favorite cities to visit.
Yeah.
And Cali. And then I can't believe you left. Most people stay when they get to Cali.
Oh, a lot of my some of my teammates, they stayed. I ain't gonna say too much, but they had no choice. Okay. But all of us, like that team that I was on literally is like the who's who of coaching right now. If people really understand who's on my team with me and who's my roommates, it was like literally the who's who of coaching right now. So it was a blessing, you know what I mean? So, God spoke to somebody and said, yo, send his butt to California. Went there, had one hell of a time out there. Too much for my freshman year. And so, but you live and you learn, and you take those mistakes and make sure the young ones underneath you don't make those mistakes behind you. So that's the lesson I pulled out of that, making sure that no one repeat what I've done, so, but I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Cool. Hey, so I got a question for you. So you're a sprint coach. You competed at a high level. You've worked with some elite sprint talent. How much of being an elite sprinter is physical talent versus like just mentality?
It's hand in hand. I'm sorry, but you can't have one without the other. Can't. We all had teammates that was ultra talented but wasn't focused. We've had kids who was ultra focused and got more out of their talent than anyone thought. The main thing is making sure mentally they understand what's about to come their way. Build them mentally. Understand. Don't beat them down. You gotta build them up. No matter how good or how bad, you gotta build them up. Continue to build them up. Build them up. Build them up. Build them up. Physically, some people are late bloomers. Some people just hit the genetic lottery. I mean, I wish I would have birthed Tate Taylor. Like, Usain Bolt, who just died 1990, age 4. Like, come on, like some things is just embedded in them. But from a talent, from that question that you asked, it goes hand in hand, man. Like you can't have one without the other. So when you're dealing with an elite athlete, like I was fortunate enough to be at the University of Alabama during Karani James's first 2 years. I was fortunate enough to be one of the coaches on that staff. His mentality was so different that he was destined for greatness. All we had to do, like Coach Glance was saying, God rest his soul too. All we gotta do is get him to the airport. You know what that means? You don't need to be in the training room. banged up, somebody can't go this week. The coaches and the athletes have to work together. It's a union, man. Let me say that again for everybody who's going to be watching this. A coach and athlete is a union. It's not a dictatorship. Now, there's going to be moments where you're going to have to put your foot down on certain things. But for the most part, you got to have communication with your athlete. You have to speak to the coach that they had before you. You know, you got to have that type of bond with them to where if you want these kids to be successful, it takes a village to get them to that point. You don't want no one leaving council, my man. I would have, could have, should have, man. You don't want that to happen. So create the bond, create the union, and success will come with it. Period. And for me, that's how you blend the mentality and the physical together. You know, there's no magic workouts, man. If anybody tells you the magic workout, there's none. Sorry.
I'm glad you hit on that, because I think that's my biggest right in the college space is these coaches get these athletes. They were already fast when they got them. They get there, they can't get them fast, but yet they don't want to pick up the phone or communicate with the coach who actually got them fast. And it's not to say that these coaches don't know what they're doing, but I just feel like it's like my job can be easier if I just communicate and then just tweak some of the things. I don't got to do exactly what you're doing, but I can just tweak and things like that. But I just feel like it's either my way or the highway.
I got you. Now, let me defend the coaches. Let me defend the coaches. Sometimes, baby, I'm speaking from an athlete perspective. Sometimes we outside. We in them streets. A lot of things that we was doing that we could understand something. Let's be real. We don't always tell the whole story.
No, that's facts. That's facts. Yep.
We don't always tell the whole story. Like, I literally cornered an athlete one time and said, "How about you tell them the whole story before I do?" And this athlete was like, you got 5 seconds. You had to make them tell the truth because once again, the parents had high hopes for the athlete to do well.
Yeah.
But they don't know that I know what was going on. Now, I'm not going to say anything because it's not my business to say, but you need to tell them because I'm tired of jumping in front of this damn bullet for you, jumping in front of this gun and taking all these bullets for you. So let it be known, and boom. Now, there are some coaches out there that will fumble the damn baton. Okay, trust me. Trust. However, there's a multitude of things that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know. And it's easy for us to sit back and say, "Oh man, that coach ain't doing well," or "This coach got all the talent, but they're not." We know that. We know that. But we have to get the full story and the whole story and the truth before we pass judgment on those coaches.
No, that's right. But I also think as parents, we need to, and I could just say myself, we need to do due diligence on whether or not a coach is going to develop the athletes, or is just are you going to a system where you either perform or you gone. And that's what I'm starting to realize in some conferences of that's just what it is.
I hope that's a topic for discussion later. Don't get me started on that one.
Get on that.
Man, but you know, it like I said, once again, when it comes down to these athletes who go to these schools, you know, it can't be ego involved with the coaches. It can't be pride involved with the athlete. You have to work as one. It's necessary.
One of the things I appreciated what you said earlier when you were talking about how it's a partnership between the athlete and the coach, but also just talking about building them up and like not talk down to them, talk, build them up, get that mental strong, all that kind of stuff. I just appreciate that. So I just want to point that out. I think that's a big part of it.
And like I said, these are things that I've done. I've done it. I had to pick up the phone and call previous coaches. I had to do that. I had to do different workouts, 7 different workouts at one time. I got a video on my IG page where I'm doing like 7, 8 different workouts. It's just me because I have to cater to what works for the kids, not my ego. So, and I wish a lot of kids would see that. Like, it's easy to put a workout plan together, cookie cutter, let the strong survive. Cool, but your bottom half is not developing. So you got to figure out a way how to make everyone be successful. For me, a failure for me is if everyone doesn't PR throughout that year. For me, that's a failure. like literally. And the kids would tell me, "Yo, coach, shut up. You did the best you could. It's on us." I'm like, "No," but I take it personal. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So,
Mhm.
I wear my emotion on my sleeve when it comes down to making sure that these kids have the best experience possible. Not
Mhm.
just the gear haul, not just, oh, we're going to this meet. I want you to have the best experience possible because you put in the time and effort to get to a certain point, and I want to make sure you achieve that. So
Mhm.
I have to be selfless in my training. I have to listen to them. And one of my girls or one of my guys can be, "Yo, coach, you know that workout we did last week? I kind of like that. Can we do that again?" I look at the day. I said, "Baby, today's not the day, but we could do it on Thursday because it's an off week." All right, cool. Get what we want. We do what we need to do. They get what they want. I get what I want. Everybody's happy. It's okay to 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 compromise with your athletes on certain things. You know what I'm saying? But the athletes also can't take advantage of said compromise.
Right now, I agree. Coach, you've been around some incredible coaches, like you mentioned Harvey Glance, but I'm actually going to kind of word this a little different because I saw the passion that you meant when you mentioned your dad,
Mhm.
um, and well, you don't know this, but I've been kind of watching you. I want to say the last 3 years, and I don't know if you remember. You reached out about my daughter Keelan, who
Get it right.
yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Coach Cal also, yeah, I reached out to her. Coach Cal reached out to her too. Yeah. Shout out to my
so,
brother, man. Shout out to my brother, Coach Cal Stevenson.
so I see how you are with your athletes. Like you're like you ride or die for your athletes. Like you're that father figure for your athletes. And I say that because I'm curious on how the coaches that you've been around and your dad, how that influenced your coaching philosophy.
I'll start with uh I'll start with Steve Lynn. Once again, all my coaches, I don't be sad. All my coaches passed away. Okay. Unfortunately, all of them passed away. Steve Lynn, when I was done with my eligibility, he gave me my first opportunity to coach. He wrapped his arm around me. I had a situation and he came through for me. And he looked me dead in my face and said, "Lamont, if I didn't do this, your mother would kill me." I said, "I love your mother too much not to be here for you. You're out here by yourself. You ain't got nobody out here. It's just you." It was nothing crazy, but it was something that, your coach had to step in and be that father figure role for you. So he he took good care of all of us. He took good care of me, especially Danny Harris, which was one of his former athletes. Took care of him all the way up until Coach Lynn passed away. Like literally was always there for him no matter what. Coach Lynn was always there for me. Um, it's just the way he would nurture the men. He didn't treat us like patsies, but there was a way that he treated us. There's the way that he helped raise us, him and his wife. You know, it meant a lot. Now going back to Coach Glance. Coach Glance is the ultimate man. There's men, and then there's him.
Mhm.
There's God rest his soul. Um, One of the best things he told me, he said, "Lamont, I wish I had you 2 years earlier when I got down there. Because if I had you 2 years earlier, you probably would be further along than you are." But it is what it was. I took all those life lessons. Dog, I watched Coach Glance do things for his athletes that I will keep to myself.
Mhm.
He is someone that I model myself after. He The way he took Karani in when Karani's mom passed away and when his dad left. Karani was on his living will.
Mm.
Think about that.
Mhm.
That's a man, bro. That's a man. That's a father. And we were all his kids. No matter how old we got, he always referred to us as his sons.
Mm.
I was his crazy son. You know what I'm saying? And so the way I treat my athletes is the way I was treated, especially when you coaching women. I had a team, most of them didn't know their fathers. I was the closest thing to a father they ever had. And the reason why I was able to be that person because of the lessons that I was taught from a Steve Lynn, from a Harvey Glance, from a Jim Richardson, from a Bill Wagner, from my own father.
Mm.
I watched my father raise 8 kids, and none of us went without.
Mm-hmm.
That means something. And understand, as a college coach, your child's going to be with me more than they're going to be with you for 4 years. And when you give me your child, I have to protect your child like she's my own or he's my own. I have to help. I have to help continue to shine those lessons. Shine them up some more. The stuff that you taught them, and some things I'm gonna have to break them out of. Because let's be real, everybody don't come from a home family. I don't have some girls. I don't have some guys that don't came from some raw situations.
Yeah.
To the point where they were like, when they graduated, dad would look at me and say, "Yo, I appreciate what you did with my son." Quick story: had a girl at Academy of Art. She's from Nebraska. Her dad went to prison when she was like 4. I had got word that her dad was coming out of jail. Chuck, who is the ultimate family person, was like, "Yo, I think we need to go to Nebraska." I was like, "Yeah, man." I said, Kiki dad getting out of prison, right? I said, "What?" "Yeah." Got to the meet. She didn't know he was going to be there.
Mm.
There wasn't a dry eye over in our area, boy.
Mm-hmm.
But we do that for the kids, man. And that meant a lot because I would, if I had to go down that path and I was in his shoes, I would want somebody to do that for me, someone that's looking out for my child. She's a wife now. She's a mother of 3. We did our job with her. And, I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of the woman that she's become. And she always appreciated that moment. She let me know that probably about 2 years ago. I still remember that moment. I definitely appreciate y'all.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
That's cool. Yeah.
I love how
Sorry to get all sappy, man.
no, no. I love how you mention like a lot of what you say is bigger than the sport itself. Like we haven't even talked about X's and O's and or anything like that. It's about building a person, building the character, or continuing the growth or improving the situation that the athlete has been in prior to making contact with you. And I think that's what a lot of coaches kind of forget about sometimes once you start to you win or you get a lot of results or you get recognition for the accolades that athletes get or you may get as yourself for yourself as a coach. It's really about building those young people up, and I love how you like to you reel it back and you're grateful and thoughtful for those situations in your life where you're able to just continue it toward, and pay it forward towards your athletes. That's dope.
I definitely appreciate that. Look, no matter how advanced we are in our life, man, we keep our ear to the street. Yo, we the hip hop generation. We are. On this panel, we are the hip hop generation. All right, we're the ones that's gonna probably get buried with Jordans on our feet, Air Force, whatever. But we be the hip hop culture, so we know what's going on outside. You know what I'm saying? So I keep my ear to the street. I pay close attention. I know when it's time for me to put my arm around them. Yo, come on, you're drifting a little bit. We bring you back in this way. Also knowing, look, I gotta let them spread their wings, let them grow, but also be there in case something happens. So that's his life. And plus, again, coaching is more than just writing workouts and taking them to trips and giving them gear drops, man. Like, like you leave your daughter. All y'all got. Let me ask you, do all y'all got daughters or y'all got daughters and sons?
Yeah, and daughters.
Both. I got both.
Oh, okay. So you want to know when your daughter go through the recruiting process, she makes a decision that the person that she's going to be with as a coach is going to take care of her no matter the circumstances.
Right.
2 girls over one conversation. We had a big recruiting day. This is back at my old school in Atlanta. We had a recruiting day, and it was homecoming weekend. Homecoming in Atlanta. Okay, we had people from Auburn there. That I gave them my phone number to. If anything happens, you call me, because if Ken finds out you out here and I don't know something, and I don't protect y'all, it's on me. They looked at me like, "Yes, coach, yes, sir." But so we had a bunch of recruits, and we was taking them back to the airport the next morning. And one of the mothers looked at me and said, "Coach, why you still look like yesterday?"
Hmm.
I said, "I don't go to sleep until the last person calls my phone or texts me. It's
Mm.
homecoming. Because something happens, I got to get in my car and I got to go save the damn day if I can." That conversation alone, as soon as they got to their destination, they called the head coach of the Your committee just off that one conversation. I don't. When I was in Atlanta, I didn't go to sleep during homecoming. I couldn't because I was so worried about how Atlanta was becoming, or it is, and all the things that was going on down there. I had to make sure that I was ready to go. Hey, clothes on. I'm up. I'm watching old track races. I'm literally just up, keeping myself up until the last person said, "Coach, we're back in the dorm." I did that. But once again, it's bigger than just writing workouts, dude. I'm good at that. I've proven that. But what is it that I can bring to a kid, and what is it that I can do to make the dad feel good and make mama sleep comfortable at night?
Yeah.
Those are the intangibles that I bring.
I love that.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Especially, without getting into it, I had, I found out some stuff that, be honest, I would have probably laid hands on the coach if I don't know some stuff that went down, like, how my child was treated and this, that, and the other. And it was just the opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know, like, I would want my child to have that experience and people looking out for her like that, as opposed to the other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I got you.
Gotcha.
Yeah. On that note, that's I kind of let a little bit out the bag, but yeah. I heard some stuff, man. I was ready.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, let's get back on track. Pun intended. Hey, so short versus long versus short. There's been a lot of debate on that. People are talking about that. Where do you stand on that debate, and like how you come to that enlightenment?
Do what works based on your personnel.
Mm-hmm.
Do what works based on your personnel. I will tell you right now, I'm more of a Lance Brahmin. I do heavy accelerations on Monday. A lot. Like 18 to 24 type sleds, resistance, non-resistance, you name it. I'm doing all kinds of power and speed development. Tuesday, I'm coming with some tempo work, depending on what time of the year it is. Like, I had this one workout where we did time runs around the grass field. We do time runs there. Each group may do something different. Like my conference champion in the 100, she couldn't do nothing more than 25 seconds. After 25 seconds, baby, she was sputtering. So you have to figure out what worked for each group. Wednesday, normally just an off day, they lift in, that's it. Thursday, I will cut the workout I do on Monday, I will cut it in half. Okay. And then it depends on what time of the year it is, because sometimes we in the 8-hour period or 20-hour period. Friday we hit it with hills. I'm big on just doing a combination of stuff. So I don't do the whole short to long, long to short thing. I do what's best for the athlete. So like I said, if I had to put a label on it, I'm more of a Lance Brahmin person, where you got your heavy speed endurance stuff at the back end of the week. You know what I'm saying? Your special endurance stuff at the back end of the week, things of that nature. So that's how pretty much I train. Anyone who does short to long, cool. One of my former assistants, Patrick Hackroth, who's one of the best coaches I ever worked with, he need to get back into the coaching game. If I could figure out a way to get him back, I'm going to get him back. He taught me the short to long. And I'm like, oh, that's how it works? Oh, okay. I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. We come from an era where, you was doing some crazy mileage runs and all that stuff first 6 weeks of the season. So I've done a little bit of both everything, but I'm more of a combo. You know what I'm saying? Do that type of thing. I'm a hybrid.
That's the word I've been using lately, is hybrid, based on personnel. Like you said, Coach, I love that. And I love that word, hybrid. That fits both sectors.
I give you a prime example. Like, remember there was a time when Colorado, the Tony Wells system was rampant in Colorado. God bless his soul, because he literally changed the landscape of how people train. You get a kid from Colorado, you have to adapt to what they're accustomed to. So you have to learn the short to long. You have to learn it. You have to
Mhm.
learn how to make sure they bound it correctly. You have to learn how to do the met ball. So you got to learn how to do those little things so they can make the transition from that program to your program. And then as they get older and stronger, then you can start incorporating more and more and more of your stuff. You just
Mm.
don't do a quick overhaul. We all make those mistakes. Everybody made those mistakes with those Colorado kids. Trust me. The only one who got it right was Miss Carroll. She's the only one who got it right. But all of us, we all make the mistake with those kids. And now that we know what it is, if we get any more kids in Colorado, now we know how to deal with them, and we can, we can keep them advancing and getting better and better and better and better.
So I got to follow up with you. I was just thinking, this is your first year at San Jose State, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you came in this year and you're meeting the kids for the first time, like, what's your evaluation process look like as far as like figuring out what they need, and or just how you're going to go about training them? I know you come in, obviously you got this knowledge and you got a way of doing things, but you see the personnel, you spend a couple practice weeks with them, whatever, and then kind of figure out how to train them. So what's that look like?
Movement.
What'd you say?
That movement.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You gotta watch the movement.
Mhm.
Some kids can do TikTok dances, but they are not coordinated. They are not. Mistake number one that everybody makes when they try to evaluate. They look at the damn times. They don't
Mhm.
look at the movement of the athlete. You got to watch. Can they do A skips? Are they
Yeah.
coordinated? Because sprint is a coordination. It's a coordination movement. You got to be coordinated. And
Mhm.
so, if you don't know how to evaluate that, you're going to do something wrong. The kid's either going to get hurt or the kid's not going to improve. So I sat back. I literally watched them train like coach like Charles. He does a lot of the early season stuff, and I'm watching because that's why I told him, I said, look, I'm gonna do the same thing I've done before. I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna watch, and then we could come up. I could come up with whatever we need to come up with because we do things together in tandem. We don't. One person doesn't do all and that's it. No, we all come together. We put our brains together. Like, look, this is gonna work. Let's do this. Let's hold that off for this time of the year. Let's add that in right now. Things of that nature. So for me, it's all about movement and watching how they do drills, watching how they do certain things. Because if they can't do the basic A skip, they can't apply force to the ground properly. If they can't do it, if they can't do the basic stuff, if they can't bound, and I know for what I've seen, a lot of kids who can bound correctly has one hell of a tail end of their race. That's what I've seen this year. Like I need more data, but that's just what I've noticed. But just certain things you just gotta peep and you gotta realize, man. You just gotta sit back, you gotta watch, analyze, write things down, jot things down, have a conversation with the kid, and then you put things together for where they can be competitive down the line. So for me, everything is about watching their movement,
Mhm.
evaluating their movement, not just looking at mile split. Ooh, he ran 10-0. So damn what? He could probably
Mhm.
run 9.8 if he was able to, if he had better coordination. Like the arm and leg coordination goes together. Like you ever watch some people run, like you can see they off sync. You gotta
Mhm.
get them back on sync. They
Yeah.
just so damn, they just so damn talented that they're able to get away with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So those are the things I look at when I first get to a school. Like literally, whether I'm the head coach or I'm the assistant coach, associate head coach, I'm gonna look at the movement. The assistant coach is gonna run everything if I'm the head coach. Let me watch. Okay, boom. If I'm the assistant coach, let me just sit back, let me just evaluate, let me do what we need to do, then we'll go from there. Because Kyle Stevenson, arguably one of the best coaches, if you get a chance to talk to him, one of the best damn coaches I ever had the honor to work under. He gave me that 6 week grace. Like, look, what are you gonna like watching him this and the third? I'm like, yeah. And that's how we end up getting the success we had our only year working at Georgia State together.
Mm.
So yeah, and that's that I figured out the plan. Literally figured out the game plan. Like I was looking at my old workouts. I can't believe I was holding 7 different workouts at one time. I had to.
Yeah.
I had to. Because some girls could not, some girls couldn't bounce. So I had to find something that can substitute that. I had to do all kinds of things with them,
Yeah.
so that's what you got to do as a coach, man. You just can't go in there. Oh, I've been here, I did that. Only a handful of coaches that can do that. Carol can do that. Mouse can do that. Flo can do that. And Ken can do that. The rest of us, nah, we can't do that. Okay, we got to do. We got to take a little bit more time to understand what we got and then get it going from there.
What about if you already get, let's just say you get a boy or a girl who's already strong, right? So, they don't need heavy weights. They don't need pretty much bounds and stuff like that. Like, how would you treat, those power sprinters?
How we treat the power sprinters? Ooh, power sprinters you still want them to bound, you just don't have to do too much.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta watch the reps that you do with them. Because power sprinters, they already fine-tuned and they can break like that.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful with them. They wound up tight. You gotta be very, very careful with them. So you just cut back on like the auxiliary work, which is the bounds and all that other stuff. You cut that back some, like let's say we doing 18 bounds down and back, cut it to 9. That's all right. You still, if they're covering ground and do what you're supposed to do, and you go back, you watch the film, you see how much ground he's covering on each contact, and the work is done.
Mm-hmm.
You good.
Mm-hmm.
So you get nothing out of trying to throw your manhood on the table to say, yo, I'm the coach, you're going to do this the way I want you to do it. No.
Mm-hmm.
If this kid's already coming in and you already got that stuff, the main thing, like I said, like Coach G told me, get him to the airport. And that's it. There's nothing scientific to it. Just cut it back. Cut it back and keep him healthy. That's it.
I feel like that's the big.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I feel like I guess that's the big difference when we think about Power Four, think about conferences. I feel like, at some schools, like you can take that grace period and watch and stuff like that. But then at the other schools, it's like they got to win. So it's like I really don't got time, which I feel is still not fair to the athletes, because the athletes still needs to be developed. But I guess winning is more important than getting athletes fast.
There's so much. There's so much I want to say.
Let's go ahead and jump into it. I wrote down the note.
I did too. I did too.
What 3 question marks so we can come back to it, but let's just get into it now.
Yeah.
Now go ahead. Say what you want to say. We'd love to hear your perspective on like development versus just
Okay. Let me, all jokes aside, I'm going to kill the misconception that the Power 4 schools don't develop, because they still do.
Mm-hmm.
But they just don't. There's some schools who don't have the time because they have to win nationals. It's only a handful of schools that got to stay in the top 10 on the national scene. Only a handful. The biggest meet on your schedule is your conference meet. I don't give a damn what anybody tell you. The conference meet is the biggest meet on your schedule. Conference meets get people fired or get people raises. I ain't never seen anybody get fired from losing the national meet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. All right, I ain't never seen that. And so when you take the big schools, they have to perform, because I'm not putting anybody on blast. I'm just using this school for example. If you're working at a school like the University of Texas that got all the money and all the resources in the world, and every time you turn around, basketball's in the Final Four, men's basketball's in the Elite Eight, baseball's about to win the national championship, football's in the Rose Bowl or playing something, you walk into those head coaches meeting, baby, they're gonna look at you like, homeboy, you're not holding your weight. And the object at those schools is you have to be in the top 10 at nationals. You got to bring them a national championship. And so a lot of those coaches, they are developing, but sometimes the kids aren't developing at the speed that they should in their eyes. I have a saying. If you've been coaching your kid for 5 years, kid been running, she gets down to 11.3, 11.2, and I have her for 8 months. How's that fair to me? I have to give her time to get acclimated to me.
Yep.
She's acclimated to you, but now she's only been with me for 8 months. Give me time and let me do what I need to do. Some coaches, they don't care. I'm not that guy. I care. I'm not gonna do that to them. So, when you go to those schools, the ante gets raised, and you gotta do everything you're supposed to do. Be in the treatment room. Make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Some coaches give you grace. Some coaches don't. Some coaches say after 1 year, "Hey man, look, I made a mistake. Hit the portal."
Yeah, that's the part where I feel like it's not fair to the athlete, or they need to know prior to it, like, hey, really, and this is how I see it. I'm gonna say it out loud. I feel like if you go into the SEC You got a 50-50 chance. You either need to go there and show what you can do. If you can't show what you're gonna do, portal time.
I was in the SEC for 2 years. Those are the 2 times I had migraines. It was stressful. Stress. You walk into pre-meet, you're stressed. Pre-meet got your blood pressure spiked. It's that intense. Like nobody's kumbayaing with each other. Everybody's looking at each other like trying to tear somebody's head off. You can run. Think about it. Somebody ran 50.98 and was 7th in the women's 400.
Yeah.
At a conference meet, not nationals, not the U.S. trials, hell, not the Olympics. At an NCAA collegiate conference meet. So when you see that, it raises the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And these ADs want success because they all going for that commissioner cup. Everybody has a motive. That commissioner cup puts extra money in those ADs' pockets.
Mm.
If you're holding them back from not winning that commissioner cup, you're gonna have a conversation. And sometimes, right around this time, this is Memorial Day week. Yep, there's a time when everybody start looking for jobs. Okay, just being honest, So, the Power 5 coaches do develop. They just don't have the time that we will have in a group of 5. Like I can take 2-3 years to develop you and continue to watch you develop. You got to be ready within either year 1, sometimes year 2. After year 2, they're saying you're on your way. I know a school who let a 22-8-year-old go because she couldn't score at the conference meet. When I got the phone call, I was like, "What?" Yeah, she can't score. Damn. Woo. Hard out there for a pimp, baby.
That's crazy.
Hey, what you think the portal's going to be like this year? Because they took out the mid-season transfer, so now, it's probably going to be like all kind of people in the portal. If they choose to jump in there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of tears.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I've gathered and what some athletes have told me on a personal note, a lot of the kids are jumping in the portal because they want to know what it feels like to be courted again.
Mm-hmm.
That was the overwhelming consensus that a lot of people have told me. From my own athletes, some other athletes who I've developed relationships with just throughout the recruiting process. They've literally told me, we just want to feel like we're courted again. That's all. And don't get me wrong, there are some people out there who, they need a new spot because they've given it all and they haven't improved and they did everything they're supposed to do and it just isn't working. Those I get. I understand that. But then you got people out there who live in the land of delusion. I don't know what state that's in, but it's somewhere in America. And they legitimately think that they had one good race and they think they're going to the SEC. And I try to stop these kids like, baby, you're not going to make the roster. And with the roster limits, they don't understand. You can't walk it back. A lot of these coaches like, look, you leave, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
So with the portal opening up tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. As we're recording this, audience, the portal opens up tomorrow. It's about to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I just gonna say I don't understand. I get it, but it just doesn't make sense to me as a grown adult. The idea of the feeling of wanting to be courted is like that's kind of weird to me. Like I get like they're not getting something from whoever's coaching them. They're not feeling appreciated and all that kind of stuff. I get that. But if that's the reason you're jumping into like to get courted versus, you're being treated like crap or, and you're still performing or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how to put that in words, but.
I got you. Because no one's willing to tell the truth to these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're a male. You've run 1083.
Mm-hmm.
And you hurdled 14.7 over the 42s. Where are you going?
Right. Yeah.
My other thing, and now I'm gonna talk from a personal perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I don't crew hop. One of my kids asked me one time, Coach, if the portal was around when you was running, would you jump? I said no. I want to beat LSU. I don't want to join them. I want to beat them. I don't want to join Texas. I want to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, but we also in a different era where, we are, well, not us, well, this generation, they're looking for validation from strangers. Like,
Yeah.
you get 10,000 likes and you probably only know 20 of those people on those likes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's some type of adrenaline that it feeds them. And for me, that's not good. That's not a good path that we're going down because it's creating insecurities within our own kids. And we have to be
Mm-hmm.
mindful of that. We have to protect them of that. The school that you go to don't define you. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? It's not going to. Melissa Jefferson went to Coastal Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Carmelita Jeter went to Dominguez Hills.
Right.
What are we talking about? Someone
Mm-hmm.
believed in them. Someone got them better. They decided to run after college. Melissa went out there and destroyed the fields out there,
Yeah.
and and here we are. The
Mm-hmm.
school, as long as you got competent coaches, you're gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I told one recruit, I said, if this shirt didn't say this school and it said another school, would we be having these long drawn out conversations about you coming to us?
Hmm.
And I stumped them and I stumped them, and the dad was like, damn, he's right. I said the school that I'm at doesn't make me a better coach. I'm a good
Mm-hmm.
coach. I coach 90% of the coaches out here right now, and I've proven it with talent that nobody wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at the NCAA meet every year, or I got representatives at the NCAA meet every year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that, like, stop looking for validation in the transfer portal because you want to feel like, oh, I'm just used because I was in that conference. Lafayette wasn't big enough for me. But then you go to another school and you run like crap.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah. The crazy part though too is, some of these kids, obviously these lower tier kids that, like to your point, are a little delusional about what's going on. They might not find a home. They might just be at home with their
Yeah,
mom. That's
yes.
the sad part.
And
Yeah.
and and me and Coach Ryan, we had a seminar that I think we're gonna host again here on campus.
Mm-hmm.
We literally, during the recruiting process showed who's in the portal each year and how many people stuck in the portal hasn't found a home. If you
Mm-hmm.
saw the look on these kids in the parents' faces, yeah, the portal is not always good. And another thing I try to tell these parents and these kids, like, yo, when you jump in the portal, if you contact me, I know your coach, right? I'm gonna find out what's going on. Now, me, I'm not a person who like to recruit out of the portal because I don't like to inherit other people's problems.
Mm-hmm.
But if you contact me, I'm like, yo, I know your coach, right? I'm gonna call. So here's your opportunity to tell me what really happened, or else I'm gonna
Right.
get his side or her side, and I'm gonna go with their side. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
the portal, you have to make that strategic. If you graduated and you put up the marks, I have no problem with the kid leaving. If the coach leaves, I got no problem with them leaving too. It happened. It happened with me when I left. A bunch of my kids left. I get it. I
Mm-hmm.
I, I built a bond with them that they wanted. It wasn't about who was coming in. It was about the fact that they wanted that bond with their coach.
Right.
But just to be jumping in the portal because you have one hot year and all of a sudden you think, ooh, USC gonna look at me, baby. No, they're not, because USC's gonna call me and be like, yo, homeboy, why is this guy contacting us? Like, if you hear some of the conversations me and these coaches be having, maybe the first in the world, like, yo, bro, why you get in the portal? Do you know now you're not good? Hey, listen, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we try to tell them. you know,
Hey, I like how you say, I like how you mentioning that because I saw the other day on your story, you basically was letting them know, like, hey, you see the disrespect, that they in their little letters that they putting out loud. They the transfer announcements.
yeah.
Like, you gonna do your homework to find out what happened, you know.
Mhm.
So I know what do you have to say in regards to that? Because I see a lot of those letters or the posts that would like, oh well, I'm gonna have a better situation here, blah blah blah. The coach that you're trying to seek is gonna do their homework.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What is like what I said, like, you're putting that out there almost like a sympathy and you want attention.
Yeah.
transfer in silence. Them the ones I'm gonna look at. The ones who, is gonna do it the right way. I had one kid jump in the portal, and he jumped in the portal in another school, and he contacted me, and he told me, "Yo, look, coach, man," he said respectfully, he said, "Man, I messed up, bro." I said, "What you do?" He told me what happened. I said, "You know what? Even though we don't got the money, I'm gonna find you a home." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah," because I said, "You're the first kid that jumped in the portal that actually told me the truth," and I knew the story already. He told me every verbatim, told me the truth, and I helped him find a home. I said, "Yo, give this kid a shot." Because I don't want the kid out on the street, and he graduates in December, and he literally had made a post saying that, you know, to the coach that helped me with this, you know who you are, because he didn't want to mention my name, whatever. He said, "I thank you for what you did, and now I'm about to get my degree." And I thought that was super dope, man. But this portal thing, man, got these kids messed up, man. Like from football to basketball, like all these sports, man. It's like I know a lot of the parents. We teach these kids to hard times is gonna make you stronger. Now, if there's disrespect from a coach, then by all means get out of there. Use it for that. I'm cool with that. But just to jump in the portal because I want to see if this school gonna talk to me now. Man, if you wasn't recruiting me out of high school, I don't want to talk to you. We're not friends. I don't want you. No, I'm gonna tell my coaches, get on their recruiting game, get me some help, and let's go to wherever meet they at. Let's go to them and let's go bust them up. That's me. And like I said, I don't really have many people transferring from underneath me too. I think out of my entire coaching career, I had 3. That's
Hey,
it.
so one of the words you used, I believe you used, and it could have been one of us, was at some point was disillusionment. Let's talk about that with regard to like the NIL and the misperceptions. About these families and these athletes think this in the track world, track and field space. Collegiately with NIL. Can you speak on that a little bit?
There's only 4 schools that's giving out NIL money for track and field. 4. I don't need to mention the schools. Y'all know who they are. Yeah, I've had recruiting calls where parents ask, "Yo, what's up with the NIL money?" Bro, okay. She doesn't play football. Football player. All right. Like, I wish you all could sit in on Coach Ryan's presentation when we do on-campus visits. You would be blown away.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth comes out, and they all sitting looking at us like, "Oh, I thought, no, NIL was." I'll take you to the conversation that I had many years ago when this was coming down the pike. NIL was pretty much created to get basketball players into college because the NCAA tournament was dying on the men's side. They had to figure out a way how to keep the biggest revenue for NCAA tournament. They had to figure out a way how to keep them. I don't care what anybody tell you. I'm telling you what I know. Okay, so people would debate it. Nah, football was already getting paid some type of way, but the NCAA tournament is the one that support all the other sports. And all the top guys go to the G League, they would go overseas and this and the third, they would come to college. So they have to figure out a way how to help create some type of revenue thing to have the kids come back. Now you notice Agent DeFonso and all those guys, they come to college now before. This was 6 years ago. They wasn't coming to college, they were going to the G League.
Right.
They were going to high school right to the G League. That's what they had to do. And so now with all these people claiming that, the football players need to get paid. Look how much revenue coming. Okay, let me give y'all a quick lesson of where this money goes. All right. 1, TV revenue. You know what TV revenue goes to? It goes to those nice, fancy facilities that y'all be begging and wanting. Okay, that's where that goes. 2, the when you at a smaller school, when you're literally at a smaller school, in order to satisfy the lawsuit, they have to take the money from somewhere, or they have to cut programs. And we don't want that. So what do? I don't know. They'll take your scholarship budget to make up the money, to make up the yearly money to pay these guys. And so NIL is not what it's for. NIL, if NIL was completely separate from the school and you give the kids an opportunity to make money outside the school, like they could do commercials, this and the third, without having to come from the actual schools, no one will have a problem with it. The problem is they're taking state funds and they're giving it to these football players and they're giving it to these basketball players. And depending on the school you at, may give it to the women of South Carolina. They deserve it. They should be the highest paid team on South Carolina's campus. You ask me. Okay. You may give it to the track team at Texas Tech. They earned it. Okay. I get that. But to rip money away from other programs to give to them and then you're not winning, oh, that's a double whammy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it's a double-edged sword, man. I'm not a fan of it. Well, let me take that back. I like NIL if it's not attached to the school. I'm not a fan of rev share. That's what I'm not a fan. But that's where the problem comes up. That they take the money from the state and they take the money from the other teams and they got to give it to. That's the issue I got. And so right now, the government, I already know the government is going to come in. They're trying to do something. I saw something on the ESPN earlier today that they're trying to do a bipartisan bill to kind of regulate this whole thing, and they need to. Because it's not fun going to a conference meet and everybody that you got on your team is paying their way to school. It's not.
Yeah. I feel like when parents have that conversation with me, I just say, the object of going to school is to get your degree. So if the school's offering for the kid to get a degree for free, I wouldn't even worry about the NIL side. And then on top of that, 95% of these athletes, kids don't even know how to save money. So what do they need extra money for? They're not even using the money right. So you don't need to worry about all that.
Again, me being in the state of Georgia for 2 years, I've seen what the NIL stuff did. Now, you wouldn't know what these guys really do with their money. Talk to a female athlete. And you get the truth right there. One of my old female athletes told me, man, coach, please. I got more of his NIL money than he got. I'm like, what? Like, bro, these guys, they just be dumping the money. They get their Quavo starter kit, the chain, the belt buckle. All that stuff. I mean, but that's what because last I remember, we hungry. We can't even go on a date. Really, dude? All of us was in college and we had the best time broke. And we still had money. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that got better resources than we did when we was in college. Yeah, we had trading table, we had all that stuff, but it's a multitude of things. A lot of these guys, they don't like. We was outside. When I say outside, I mean we played. We outside. We had social skills. A lot of these guys don't have them type of skills, so they see things. They listen to these artists and talk about it ain't tricking if you got it. Yeah, it is, but but they doing those little things right there to impress those that's probably never going to be in your life for another after 2-3 years. So one thing if you're actually using that money and you're actually flipping it and you say, you know what, I know I'm probably not going to make the league, but I'm gonna have a business started or something like that. I've seen what those guys do with that money, man. Like I just sit back and I just like, damn. Oof. Yeah, it's crazy. But rev share, that's the one I have a problem with. NIL, I really don't. I don't mind them getting money outside of the school and doing commercials and being sponsored. I got no problem with that.
Is collective bargaining outside the school or that's still inside the school?
Rev share?
The collective bargaining.
That part I'm not too advanced on, so I don't say the wrong thing. So I gotta get more information on that.
Okay.
So I want to run it back just real quick on the recruiting, just from your personal experience, like without naming names, like what's one of the wildest or most challenging recruiting situations that you've experienced that make you think like this recruiting landscape is completely different now?
Oh, damn. It just happened recently.
Oh,
Recruiting this athlete, and for the life of us, man, this athlete would not make a decision. Athlete is getting bad advice, being told to hold out, and I don't think they understand that money is scarce, money is, and we need to make a decision soon. That is the most frustrating part recently. The craziest recruiting thing? Can we say that over FCC airwaves? This years ago, way before I met my significant other. Like mother was on some craziness. It was out of control. It was out of control. I'm gonna leave it at that. It was the girl ended up signing, but that was one of the wilder recruiting stories I dealt with. I don't really have too many crazy recruiting stories like consistently. Like those are like the one that stand out, the last one I just told you, and the one that's going on currently. That's the one.
Yeah, with the one going on currently, like a lot of people don't understand. It's like what I would love for them to understand, if the parents and the kids understand it, like if I'm the coach and I'm interested in you and you're trying to like make me wait, this a good, you look at it from my perspective, is just a good chance I might not sign you. So there's two or three other people who might be ready to go right now. So it's like,
Right.
or someone, might be in a similar situation where this person now just popped up on the radar. So like, am I going to why would I keep waiting for you when I can do this right here and know? Because I might lose you anyway. I don't really think they understand that. Like,
Right. One thing I could say about us is that we don't give hard deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at our coaching staff, David Verber, who's a multiple-time World Olympic gold medalist,
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Madison, that goes without saying. Charles Ryan and myself, both of us two-time NCAA championship coaches.
Mm-hmm.
We have, like, we know that we're good at what we do, and we try to explain that to the athlete.
Yeah.
But again, everyone has their dream school, and we understand that. Look, my dream school was Tennessee. That was. End up going to Iowa State, which is cool. I could have went to Tennessee because they called me. I'm like, nah, my mom liked the coach at Iowa State, so I'm going there. There are things we try to explain to them that they can't sit back and just wait and 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 wait. And we see this all the time. And then you have the other person who they trust and believe that's in the back of their head telling them stuff, and they're going to listen to them, but it's going to screw them in the long run. Then you're going to end up in the damn JUCO. Because I think a lot of people think we're lying. Roster spots are real.
Yeah.
It's not for play. When our AD say, hey, you can only have 32 this year, but we're trying to get you locked in, and now you're looking at these other schools, and all of a sudden these schools is it's a lot, man. I can go on for days with that nonsense, man.
I would say I would add to it that not only that, but once the portal opens, it's like, oh God, you might have lost your spot.
That's the spot. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point I was going to get to. I'll share a little secret with you. Most schools will hold 4 scholarships or 4 roster spots for the portal.
Mm-hmm.
So when they tell you they ain't got the money, they don't. You know why? Because they waiting for the portal to open.
Yeah.
I'll give you a prime example because he said it out loud, so it's no secret. Shout out to my guy Adam Pennington at Northwestern State, who does a phenomenal job down there. He's literally said, I don't worry about the high school recruiting and all that stuff. Man, I wait till the portal opens up and I get all my athletes. Just like that. I know a bunch of coaches who do that. They'll sit back and wait. They'll wait and they'll wait and they wait, then boom. A lot of G5 schools do that. Hell, that's how I had all them damn D1, all them Power 5 transfers at my previous school. I sat back and they hit up the head coach. Head coach say, yo, man, I need you to look into this person. I know you don't like the portal, but I need you to look into this person. And then I had, obviously I'm going to do what my head coach told me to do. Call them, like them, this and the third, bring them on a visit, let the girls fill them out. The girls say, hey, we not feeling her. That's a no-go because most of my girls, they can see things before we do. We thought, but if they like, yo, coach, we like them, this and the third, they got good energy, this and the third, we're going to bring them in, we're going to keep them, we're going to do what we need to do. So, yeah, That's one of the I'm telling one of the secrets. Most of the time, there are roster spots, but they waiting for the portal. They're waiting for the portal to open up, and they're going to fill those spots. It's no different than the young girl that was at USC that ended up at Georgia. Come on, you think he wasn't holding that spot for that girl?
Yeah.
Yep.
If done correctly, I know it's gonna be done correctly. They about to run 41-4 if done correctly in the 4x1. That's all they needed was her. Everything else is already in place. And so they're gonna continue to do that. They're gonna continue to hold those spots. They're gonna continue to hold on to them scholarships. And then, the high school kids are gonna get screwed out of it. They're gonna end up at schools that they don't want to go to. That's why I tell a lot of kids, you see a coach going at you now, stop waiting and stop letting people tell you, hold on, hold on, hold on. USC's coming, Oregon's coming, Texas is coming. Nah, just look. You're gonna be fine. We understand where we at in the mid-major. If you here for 2 years and then you decide that you want something greener pasture, okay, cool. We get it. We get it. We know the landscape that we're in right now. But don't play yourself, wait there, and then you end up at a school that you know you have no business being at. And then you're mad at the world, then you lose the relationship with the people who told you to hold out. No, don't do that. Just listen to coaches, do your visits, take a moment, take 48 hours after you're done with your last visit, take 48 hours, weigh the option, and then pick a school and stick with your school until further notice. Period. Easy fix.
And and some you just hit on. That's why I also feel like it's important. High school athletes, even when you transfer, if you're already in school, it's important. I feel like it's important for these athletes to keep those relationships, even though if you're not going to the school, keep the relationship with the coaches. Not just because you may transfer, but just in life in general. Like, you don't know if you might need a letter of recommendation. You don't know if you need a job. I feel like keeping those relationships is important. And I don't think a lot of parents is telling their kids of like, hey, I know you didn't choose this school, but keep that relationship, still communicating because you're spending time. I mean, when somebody recruiting you, they're recruiting you for amount of time. So you're already building that. So don't just cut it off because you decided to go to another school.
Right. I will tell y'all this. A lot of y'all got access to a lot of coaches that's honest and true. Pick up the phone and call us. Like, shout out to my guy, Marlon Odom, that's down there in Texas. Hurdle Signs. I think y'all know him.
Yep.
Every time something would come down the pike, I would pick up the phone and call him. Say, yo, dog, give you the heads up. Here's what's popping off this and that. Like, yo, bro, I didn't even know that. Like, thank you. So he knows, so he could prep his kids and his kids' parents to know what's going on. Shout out to Danny McCray. Danny McCray knows everything because he's on the phone with us all the time too. That's my bro, man. You know what I'm saying? We got mad love for one another. Me, him, Charles, we all talk to each other and we keep everybody in the loop so all the parents could know what's going on. So stop listening to what you see on ESPN. Stop listening. You cannot tell me what's going on in the room when I'm in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're not in, as Coach George Williams will say, if you ain't in the huddle, hockey, you know to play.
Right.
So if I'm in the room, trust me on this one. I'm about to give you the right information. Because by the time it gets out and it gets to the 18th person, it's a telephone game. It doesn't change. Like the whole 45 thing. They thought everybody was getting 45 scholarships. No. No. It doesn't work that way. So just contact us, man. We'll definitely give you the real, man. We give you the truth.
Coach, can you speak on how important it is for these young men and women to make contact to those schools that were recruiting them, but they've decided to move in a different direction? How important it is for them, like you said, pick up the phone. Don't just send a text message that's just dry and blank. Like it's good to, you know, build up on that relationship should be they have to reach back and try to, contact you later on. But then also pick up that phone and have a verbal conversation with you if they're entering the portal too.
Right. All right. So first one, the high school recruits. High school recruit, what I want is for y'all to understand that we have been told no many a times before. You're not gonna hurt our feelings. I can respect a person who picks up the phone and say, "Hey, coach, listen. I just want to let you know that I've decided to go to this other school." No, I'm gonna tell them, baby girl, baby boy, I support you. I understand. Go do what you got to do what you have to, and we keep the relationship there. And it's funny because a lot of these kids will leave comments on on my IG post now. Most of the time I don't respond to it because technically we're not supposed to, but they'll leave a remark and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, dude, you really good at what you do, and the relationship is still there in case something doesn't work out where they at. They can always pick up the phone and say, yo, coach, I'm in the portal. Can we revisit something? Cool. Um, just it's better that way. You know what I'm saying? I understand the text message thing, and I don't get too high or too low about the text messages. What I don't like is when we trying to make a decision, you ghost us.
Mm.
That right there will put you in a bad light with every coach.
Yeah.
You're not going to hurt our feelings. Children, listen to me. All right, let's go to Lamont. You are not going to hurt our feelings if you tell us no.
Yeah.
It's okay. Baby, we've been rejected before. And as a man, I've been rejected many a times outside of the schedule. It's okay. It's
Shoot or
okay.
shoot.
We're gonna embrace it. We're gonna respect your decision, and we're gonna go from there. We're gonna move on. Cool. Now, as for the kids for the portal, by rule, they don't have to tell us anything. By rule, they are not obligated to tell us they get in the portal. We will find out from the compliance person when that email come dinging through the head coach's email, like, oh damn, they don't have to tell us anything, but we would like for them to say, hey man, look,
Yeah.
I want to let you know, man, I'm jumping in this portal, this and the third. I got to do something different, and I will, even though I wasn't here for this, I know the story. Shout out to Malachi Snow. Malachi Snow, Texas Tech. He did it the right way. I got nothing but respect for that young man because Coach Ryan raved about that kid and how he went about it. And Coach Ryan said, "Bro, you better take it. That's no, I can't match that, And so Malachi Snow is a prime example of doing it the right way. In my humble opinion, if Malachi decided, yo, I want to run this back here, I will fight for him to come back because he did it the right way.
Mhm.
I'm saying that's not me talking about somebody else's kid. I'm just giving you our story just so I don't know nobody out there. Oh, Coach Lamont talking about another athlete. Nah, I'm just giving you a story of what was told to us. So everybody calm down. Let this police out there relax. But yeah, so yeah, but that's how you do it, man. Just don't ghost people and just come in and have a conversation, man, and explain your situation, and we'll definitely give you the best advice. I want to help kids go to the right school if they're gonna jump in the portal. Like, yo, give me a list of the names of the schools that you're looking at, and let's have a realistic conversation.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that you're running 1073 and 2160. You talking about you want to go to Oregon, sir? Have a seat. I'm not making that phone call. So just do it the right way. That's all.
Hey, before we move on, you said something I think is important that I want to touch on, and it's like evaluating for team culture. You were talking about you bring recruits in, like with the old school and the girls, and they would kind of let you know their feelings. Um, I'd love to talk about that a little bit, and with we were also bringing in social media into it and how you look at the athletes' social media and all that kind of stuff. So I had to have a talk with an athlete at one point about posting some non-flattering stuff about teammates, and I was just like, that's not a good look, especially if you're trying to get recruited and whatnot. But can you talk about that? How you evaluate and look at the social media and all that kind of stuff to kind of help as far as like
Yeah,
protecting your team culture and chemistry?
yeah. I'm gonna talk about the social media thing.
Hmm.
To all the kids who's going to probably see this, I've literally stopped recruiting multiple athletes based on what they did on social media. Oh, and by the way, those little spam pages that y'all have, I have access to that too.
Hmm.
I think spam pages for them to be disrespectful and do all kinds of nonsense, which I think is cowardly, if you ask me. If you want to act like one of those, stand on your word, don't hide behind a spam page. So they can just do whatever, they can say whatever. Nah, that's not cool. Your social media, I will literally not recruit you based on how you conduct yourself on social media. Even the songs that you play when you're doing like the little captions and stuff like that, if you ain't got the common decency to not use the you don't have the courtesy to use the clean version, I got a problem with that because that means you do things off the whim. You're unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? You don't think before you do something. You know, um, team culture. Look, I'll coach dual genders. I'll coach women only. And I will speak more to the women side. Team coaching is very valuable. You have to establish a strong team culture on a women's only program. If you don't, when the women ain't happy, nobody's happy. Okay, I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. When the women ain't happy, the men are not happy. So, you have to find like-minded people, and you don't mind them having their personalities, but the goal they have to buy into the same goal that all the girls have established and what the coaches have put in them. Like I give you a prime example. When I was working at Georgia State the first year, Coach Cal's women, not him, the women had a rule. You are not taking no photos in our damn outfits to talk about non-committed.
Right. Yep.
And a lot of girls who came in there, they were upset about that. And then the girls had to explain it to them. Said, dude, we're not here for your social media clicks for you to get some type of 1,000 bunch of likes because you want attention. If you want to be in our uniform, commit here. We will bring you back here, and you can have the biggest photo shoot in your life, baby. When I'm talking smoke, I'm talking about pyro, everything. You can have whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. But that's how they did it. That was a team culture that was set within the team. The women set that culture, not the coaches. It was the women. But Coach Kyle and me, and then Coach Page, we all established what it was going to be from the jump. And if the vibe, like I can get the vibe from certain parents, nah, I'm not feeling them. And then I'll probably move on. Now I will tell them, look, respectfully, you don't fit the dynamic of the team, so we're gonna go in a different direction. And I have that conversation with them and their parents on the phone, respectfully, and then we go from there. But when you build in the team culture, here's the mistake that a lot of coaches do when they get to a new place. They come in and they try to be Matilda the Hun. They try to come out there and try to rule everything with an iron fist. Can't do that.
Yeah.
First thing you got to do, you have to come in and make those kids feel safe. Make them feel safe because they're going through a transition. The person that recruited them is no longer there. Have to make them feel safe. Okay, you don't come in there. All right, my program. All right, so here's what we're not going to do. Here's the team rules. No, you can't do that.
I like that.
You can't do that. You have to go in there and you have to establish a relationship. The first meeting should be everyone sitting real close together, and you grab a chair and you sit right in front of them. Let them feel that you could be touched in a sense. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That they coach you. You're not standing off on the stage and they weigh in the seats. No, have it in close proximity and talk gently to them and say, hey, listen, I understand y'all went through a transition. All I'm asking if y'all to give me a chance, give me an opportunity. Let me show y'all that we can get the job done. And then you continue with the meeting like, listen, we have team rules though. Let me go over these team rules. And it's the way you deliver the message to the team that they would then buy in. Because you don't know how close they were with that previous coach. You come in there and say the wrong damn thing, all of a sudden the leader can feel some kind of way, everything is done. All of a sudden, everybody underneath the leader start following suit. But if you make the leader feel good and you make everybody else feel good, the team culture will build itself, and then you can also add on your stuff there. When you go in, like there's certain things you don't have to tell these grown adults. You're not supposed to miss class. You know you're not supposed to miss practice. You know that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a certain thing you will say, okay, when we travel, this is what we do, this is how we leave, this is how we dress, this is how we coordinate ourselves, this and the third. Just little things like that. And then how y'all deal like team functions is very, very important. Okay, let's say we do a team function twice a semester. I get the leadership council. We get the leadership council and we'll put something together, what y'all want to do, and we'll go ahead and we do that. Those are the type of conversations you have when you first step onto a new campus with a new team. You gotta do that, man. Because if you don't, I'm telling you right now, when that fall portal open up after cross country, all of a sudden you get an email, ding, 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 ding. You look at the email like, what? Transfer portal? What? Wait a minute, hold up. You scroll to your phone like, damn. But that's how you establish the team culture, and that's how I feel about the other topic that we previously discussed.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, let's transition. Two big things kind of just took place.
Right.
The enhanced games and then we just had the IOC just post what she posts.
Now I could be more open on this because this is not college, so I can speak a little more.
So I'm curious. I'm curious on your take on both your hands games and with the IOC.
Let me deal with the IOC because my boy, shout out to my boy Ray Edwards, who I do my podcast with. Ray's take. She needs to be fired. She needs to be fired. And there's other things I want to say, but I don't want them to come off wrong. But there's a reason why it's hard for certain demographics to get into particular seats. You don't say that. You know what we've all seen professional athletes and post-collegiate athletes. There's a difference. We've seen what Ja'Cory Patterson had to go through in order for him to get his Nike deal. And you telling me right now, this man made a team from Matt Bowling and all these other cats who didn't, like Chris Bailey, who made the Olympic team. He didn't even have a deal when he made the Olympic team. All these cats who didn't have money. You mean to tell me right now, you go to the Olympics and you break the world record, you win the gold medal, you did 7th, third, you're not supposed to get paid?
Yeah.
In what sport? In what sport in the world they gonna do that at? Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy. And for her to say that, if that's the case, then you don't need to get paid. Because I know how much she gets paid. Oh, trust me, Ray already looked it up. We know how much she get paid in euros. So give up your check, bounce it all out, so no one gets paid. We don't get paid, y'all don't get paid.
Right.
No one came to see you, Otis. They came to see, they came to see the Temptations. You know what I'm saying? They came to see Fred on the track. They came to see Omanyala on the track. They came to see Taboho on the track. They didn't come to see you sitting up in the box, sitting and clapping, doing this. No one paid to see you, Otis. No one paid to see you. So for you to go out and run your mouth and say, yo, these guys and these women who put in so much work, man, to fulfill their Olympic dream, for them not to get paid, man, I was just asinine to her. She need to walk that back. But I saw something that she said she's not going to walk it back. No, she need to walk it back. She need to walk it back. That was an American who said that was in charge of the IOC. They would have forced them to walk it back. You need to walk it back.
They make hundreds of millions, if not billions. I'd like, so that's crazy.
Now, as for the enhanced games, it was a dud, but I think it was a dud on purpose. I think it was done on purpose. The one thing I did pull out of that is that Fred Curley proved the point that everybody missed. He's out for 2 years for whereabouts. And don't get me wrong, as a professional, that's part of the rule. Got to do it. But the first thing that comes about when you have a whereabout miss is that you was doping, you was taking drugs, you was on your drug cycle. Fred just proved to everybody that he don't need to do that.
Right.
He just proved. And I think Matadi was enhanced, I think. And he ran in 3 years. And he came out the bed and just ran 9.9. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, I think it was a dud, but it was a dud on purpose. I think they're going to up the ante next year. But I also understand that it was a big money draw. And even though they lost a lot of their stake, I guess they went down 70% in their shareholdings. There was a bigger gain there. If you think they put everything out there, you sadly mistaken. They probably did that. So, okay, we did it on this level, the doping on this level, and we got this result. Okay, let's up the ante moving forward. So the next time they run it, which they plan on doing, fireworks.
And while we're on this subject, can we get your thoughts on the World Athletics? And while we're talking about like global stuff, can the World Athletics and the higher standards that they just put out recently?
Somebody need to be drug tested. Whoever put that out. Seriously. And here's in the World Athletics, they slick. They did the 9.95 for the men. What they're trying to do is they're trying to force everyone to go over to Europe and run in the Diamond League because you get points. Let's say, for example, you don't hit the time standard, but you got the points. You get an entry into the meet. because you have the diamond, you have the World Athletic points.
Hmm.
What it also does is it kind of cripples the college athletes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the college athletes only got one way to make the damn team. They got to hit the time standard.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's, you know, a lot of people don't know this, man. The Europeans don't really want the Americans over there running. They don't want the Americans over there running. They want to keep the Americans out of the Diamond League as much as possible. They tired of Sidney McLaughlin not running, but showing up to the World Olympic Championships and damn near running 46 in the open water. Damn near running the 400 hurdles.
Yeah.
They're over it. Like they're literally over it. So they're trying to do everything in their power to put asses in the seats and they're gonna do whatever they need to do to make it harder for the Western Hemisphere athletes, i.e. the United
Mhm.
States, because no one wants to travel over there. Have you traveled to one of them Diamond League meets? Bro, I've been to France. That's not a fun travel.
Hmm.
That's not a fun travel, man, at all. I've been to Ireland. It's not a fun travel. I've been to Osaka. Not a fun travel. Not fun. You know what I'm saying? So, um, they need to do so. The IWF need to do better. I still call them the IWF. I don't call them World Athletics. I grew up on the IWF. Their mama called my IWF. I call them the IWF. Um, they they're really trying to keep the U.S. athletes either out or force them to come over there.
Mhm.
Nobody really wants to go over there because think about it. Gabby Thomas don't go over there now. She don't go to a lot of Diamond League meets. Have y'all peeped that?
Well, we say see that, but I don't know why. But yeah, she don't do it.
I will share this with you. Why would Gabby go over to, let's say, Stockholm?
Hmm.
Why would Gabby go to Stockholm race for $20,000 when she could do a photo shoot and get 150 grand?
Mm.
Yes.
So,
Now, those are exact numbers,
Hmm.
but let's just say I'm giving y'all, I'm telling y'all something without telling y'all. There's a reason
Hmm.
why. There's a reason why Gabby doesn't go over there. No need. Sydney, no need for Sydney to go over there. Sydney and Gabby's the face of track and field, regardless of what anybody think. They are the faces of track and field in the United States.
Hmm.
Look, they dominant, they're educated. Okay, leave it at that. They are the face, and so they don't have to go over there, and that's what they can't stand because they want to see Sydney over there more than they do, and they don't see Sydney over there. Seriously, when was the last time you saw Sydney running the Diamond League meet? That was over in Europe.
that was
Hmm.
Once last year, maybe.
Guess she just did it recently, but yeah, that was just the final. She didn't do all the other ones. And they did the special, I don't know, special category or whatever they did for her. But yeah,
That was 2 years ago.
yeah, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, she. There's no need for her to go over there, and they had to do that, and they had to pay her for the
Hmm.
most part. She got Maybelline commercials, New Balance commercials, she modeling gigs. She's about to be a brand new mother.
Hmm.
She don't need to go over there. Justin, Sydney and Gabby make more money off the track than they do on the track.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I was told
Hmm.
directly from the horses' mouths.
Hmm.
They make more money off the track, and so um, they just like I said, apart it's a multitude of things. They're just trying to get people back over. They want the stars over there, and they doing things to force them over there. So if you don't hit the time, you got to go over there and get the points. So they're trying, but 995 is crazy. That is crazy. Now I think if they took the average from the previous year, it's okay. Here's what the average sprinter was running. I get it. This like they just threw a number out there. So yeah, 995. They
Hmm.
got super spikes on 995.
Hey,
Come
so
on, man.
did they make it so that the college meets don't count at all?
Hmm.
Okay.
I think there's only one college meet that counts, and that's the
Hmm.
Tom Jones meet.
Okay.
The Tom Jones meet is the one meet that will count towards points.
Hmm.
I don't know what's going on with Mount Sac. There's a reason why a lot of professionals don't go to Mount Sac right now because
Mhm.
it doesn't count towards anything. But that's why you see everyone converge onto Gainesville.
Hmm.
But you see all the British, the Jamaicans, the Trinidadians, the Canadians. You see all of them just converge on the Gainesville because it's a silver level meet.
Hmm. Yeah.
Galloway did a fantastic job of getting that meet silver medal. I'm sorry, get it silver leveled so it
Hmm.
can count as points and everything to go towards a world athletic score. So
Mhm.
yeah, so a lot more big meets need to do that. They need to do that, and they can then the athletes don't have to go over there if they don't want to.
Wow.
So I'm curious. Like, I mean, because I'll be lying and say if, you know a lot about track and field, and I feel like right now it's in a bad place, bad state. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think we have to do to really fix the sport? You know, cause I feel like the way it's going, it'll probably phase out.
Here's what I think they need to do, and I'm gonna take some stuff from Hassan Stamps and again Kyle Stevenson. There need to be levels. Shakari and them girls, they don't tier one. There need to be some type of minor league system outside the NCAA to move these middle tier kids up into the top of echelon. And you can't sit back and tell me there's no money in these shoe companies because there is.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to, and I'm not sure if it's going to go under that banner, but they're about to reignite Nike International down in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't give you too much detail, but a new professional group under the Nike banner will be in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You will find out soon enough. Okay. So and so there need to be if you got a kid that ran 10 flat and a girl who ran 11.0 and a girl who ran 22.2 and a guy that ran 20.1 20.0. If you want the sport to continue, you got to do something, make a structure where those kids who would now be considered mid-tier can train for an Olympic cycle, have their stuff paid for, and then after the Olympic cycle, they don't make a team. Okay, then you release them. But there's no way these kids can legitimately. There's no way we can keep the track and field sport flowing if every time our top kids come out of college, they're done, they're finished, they're gone. So there has to be more support there. You can't tell me Nike, a multi-billion-dollar company, don't have money to spare. LeBron ain't getting all that damn money, so you got to be giving that money to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Adidas, Puma, Mizuno, all these companies, they can do something that can help the athletes that come from, to me, in my opinion, the greatest development minor league in all of the world, which is the NCAA system.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be something that after they graduate from college needs to be there. There's no way someone who runs 20 flat, like there was a kid from Northern Arizona a couple of years ago, dude ran 20 flat. He got no deal. So he's like, I'm not running no more. He
Mm-hmm.
ran 20 flat. I don't give a damn what anybody say. 20 flat ain't slow. Yeah, granted, there's guys out there running 19.4. I get that. But if he has a solid foundation where all he has to do is practice, no school, no nothing, all he has to do is train. The US would be the deepest it'll ever been. But we don't do that. We got people out there running in under rules and no frill. I mean, it's crazy, bro. Like to me, that just makes the sport look bad. I don't want to see a guy wearing Nike, a guy wearing Adidas, and somebody out there wearing a t-shirt and some no frills and some no frill tights on. I don't want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like young boy, the hurdler. I don't like the fact that he had to work at Walmart. He still doesn't have a deal. Dylan Bird, I think his name Dylan Beard.
Beard, yeah.
Yeah, he still doesn't have a deal, and he made a team.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. Think about it, Masai Russell didn't have a deal until she made the damn team.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So that's what I think needs to be fixed. There need to be two tiers: the elite tier and the developmental tier. Give them the Olympic. Give them to the Olympic cycle. You can say, look, I'm gonna give you 3 years. Olympic year, world year, off year, and then we'll see what happens. Then we'll negotiate for the 4th year, and then after that, if they don't do anything, then you let them go. Okay, cool. You give them a shot, and they can walk away. So I give it everything I had.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion on that.
Yeah. Hey, before we get out of here, I want to get your thoughts, taking it back to the college thing. Get your thoughts on the 5 for 5 and the age restriction proposal. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay. I'm cool with the 5 for 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with that. I have a problem with the age thing because it's coming from a disingenuous place. That's where it's coming from. It's coming from a place of they don't want the Kenyans over here. I'm about to say what it is. I'm tired of being politically correct. They don't want the Kenyans over here. They don't. And I said that in one of the meetings. Y'all just don't want the Kings over here. Just say that. Because that's what the whole age thing come about, because no one had a problem when all those Europeans went to Villanova all those years ago.
Mhm.
No one, but as soon as you realize that the event areas, and I'm not picking on them, I'm just telling you my observation,
Mhm.
that event area that was dominated by a certain demographic,
Mhm.
all of a sudden you getting B to A's. Now all of a sudden it become a problem,
Mhm.
you know, and everyone gives you pushback on this and this and that, and I'm cool with that. No one had a problem when Quincy Wilson kept 3 guys off the Olympic team. He was 16 years old. Oh, look at the little kid. How you let the little kid? But then when the 24-year-old beat up on the 19-year-old, oh, now he's bullying. Stop. Okay, had that same energy for the young kid. All right, because there's some people who feel like people who are 16 years old shouldn't be in the Olympic trials. There's some people who really feel that way. So the age thing, no, I don't think you need to be 30 in college. I mean, but if it, but I know where it's coming from, and it's not coming from a genuine place of concern. It's coming from we can't beat them, so we're gonna rig the system so we could get back to dominating how we want to dominate. Look, all you gotta do is go to a simple Let's Run blog, and you can get the truth right there.
I see all that. I got to say, as a parent of a child right now, I'm all for it, because it's like I have a child, who's a heptathlete,
Right.
who's competing against Europeans who've been doing it forever, and they're coming over at 20, 22, 24 as freshmen, and it's like, like here, like in California, my thing is we don't have the event. She's a sophomore. She's still learning. She
Right.
probably won't hit her stride to her junior year, because this is all news, learning, whatever. Still one of the best in the country, but it's like the idea that you have to compete against someone who's 25, 26, 27 in our American system. And our kids are graduating as, 17 and 18, but have to compete against these people so much older. I don't love that. I don't think it's fair. I would love to be more equitable, honestly.
No, and I get it, and I get it, and once again, like I said, I wouldn't have had a problem with the whole age thing if it came from a genuine place. See, what you said was genuine.
Mm-hmm.
But in that room, I know what was said. You know what I'm saying? I know the truth. And guess what? It ain't the sprint crew that's complaining about it. It ain't the throwers that's complaining about it. It ain't the jumpers who's complaining about it. It ain't us. It's not. So just keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? So respectfully, if they did it from a genuine place and say, yo, I'm like, if you see some of these proposals at these coaches convention that we go to every year in December, if you see some of these proposals, like especially this particular topic, you sit there like this. What? like you're literally scratching your head like, okay, this is not coming from a genuine place. So no one's gonna take you serious. So as long as it's coming from a genuine place and you have data and have everything to back it up, this and that, okay, cool. But you're doing this out of spite. You're doing this out of, let's call it what it is. You're doing this out of racial frustration. Because if, like I said, if no one had a problem when Josh Kerr came over here and was whooping everybody. I was at University of New Mexico when Lee Emanuel, the 2-time mile champion, came over. And I watched that boy work out. Lee Emanuel was one of my favorite athletes I ever had the honor to be on the staff with. He's one of the greatest kids I ever had the honor to be around. But no one had a problem when all those guys came over here. When the British and everybody else came over, no one had a problem. It only became a problem when another demographic came over here and they started dominating. Because Lee wasn't exactly young, but nobody cared. All of a sudden, Miss Doris is here. Now, all of a sudden, it's a problem. See what I'm saying? So it's not coming from a genuine place. And I don't mean to offend anybody. I'm just calling it what I see. I'm listening to what I heard in that actual coaches convention. So the words that I'm just reciting the words that I've literally heard from these people in the coaches convention. They showed their butts in that room, respectfully. So like I said, you know, it's gonna get fixed. It's gonna get handled. Um, and then we'll go and see what happens there. But then remember, but y'all come back and remember this conversation and watch how the landscape will completely
Yeah,
change.
yeah. I don't think you let any secrets out because it's pretty well documented if anybody's following the sport.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
That's funny.
Shoot. Coach, we truly appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight and just discuss everything, and let everything roll out and keep it authentic. So this is definitely one of those conversations that goes far beyond just times and performances. So we thank you for that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I watch, like I said, I watch your stuff, man. I definitely appreciate the fact that you offered me an opportunity to come on this platform. And like I said, anything I can do to help advance the sport in college, high school, and beyond, I'm definitely going to do it. Any wisdom I have, any stuff that's been bestowed upon me, I'm going to give it to everybody else. It'll make no sense for me to hold on to it. Might as well give it out to everybody so everyone can be better at what they're supposed to do. Because y'all the y'all the ones who got the high school kids and stuff like that. Y'all the most important people in track and field. Because without y'all, there's no me. So we got to make sure that we give y'all the knowledge just so y'all giving us the talent. So we have to pass that. We have to pass stuff to one another back and forth, back and forth. So I definitely appreciate this, man. And I haven't done one of these in a while, man. But I'm definitely humbled by this, and I definitely appreciate y'all, man. Thank you all. Thank y'all
And
for
that's
real.
Thank you. We
And that's
appreciate
why
you.
we created Beyond the Blocks, because we wanted to bring, real conversations, for the athletes, coaches, and the parents, specifically the parents. And, the coaches are going to see and want to be a part of it as well. But like a lot of people don't see the process, and the stories behind everything that goes to track and field. And like you said, we want the sport to grow. We want more knowledge to be out there. So definitely what gave us this evening was right on point.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Definitely. I know some of my kids are gonna see this. So
Mhm.
uh, good luck. Good luck. Good luck to my ladies out there in San Jose State.
There you
Good luck.
go.
Good luck to my former athletes who are competing in the East region. Um, and a special shout out to Zyra Shivers. She was my hurdler at Georgia State who graduated last year. She had 2 more years of eligibility. We sent her to Pittsburgh State. The girl was out for 2 years because she blew her knee out and she tore 10% of her hamstring off the bone.
mm,
Damn.
And I inherited her and we took our time with her.
Mhm.
Kyle is a great evaluator of talent. I don't know how he does it, but that man has an eye for talent. And he gave me one of the greatest talents I've ever had the honor to coach. And for me to get her to not being able to break 14 seconds, to being out for 2.5 years, to get her down to get her back under 14, well, not get her back, get her under 14 for the first time, and for her to go to Pittsburgh State, and she was the national runner-up in the hurdles at the national championship meeting in Emporia State.
So,
That is
so
my that is my track daughter. I love her. I wish her all the best, and she know I'm a phone call away, baby. You know I got you. I'm so proud of her. So proud of that young girl. So shout out to her, man, and everybody else who I've coached along the way, who's still competing. Good luck to y'all. Do y'all thing.
Coach, where can all of our listeners and followers find you at, like social media wise, or get in contact with you if necessary?
Go to IG coach underscore Lamont underscore Johnson. That's my coach's page. On Twitter, I still call it Twitter, sorry, X. It's part four. People ask you what part four means. I'm my dad's fourth son. That's what part four means. I'm his fourth son. Daddy was outside. so, oh, but yeah, those are my two. Those are the two things. I'm not really on TikTok, and so I don't even waste my time with that one. So
Right.
TikTok is my spying mechanism. I can always find what I need to find on
hey, let
TikTok.
them know. Let them know about your podcast as well.
Oh yes. So the crazy podcast, Ray's Take. It comes on every Sunday. It's a lot of jokes. All right. It's a lot of jokes. It's a lot of knowledge. You're gonna feel the love on that. You have multiple Olympians on there, NCAA champions, world championship participants. One of the best coaches who's ever coached college. He was the last head coach at Blinn Junior College. He's the one who got the Lincoln, Missouri dynasty started before Coach Poppy took it over. and Coach Lester, and myself, and we talk about a array of things, the Diamond League, the nonsense behind the scenes, a lot of the things that y'all want to know what's going on, we know, and but we have a promise to keep a lot of things to ourselves because there's a lot of things that we do know and we don't say anything,
Right.
but we do say we do throw out hints when our text messages go off. We like, all right, we can say it. So Rage Take every Sunday, sometimes on Monday. Just follow me on that page. You'll see the link. Follow Rage Take on IG, and you'll see all the jokes and the goody stuff and all that good stuff, man. It's a blast, man. Y'all have a good time with that.
Nah, thank you, Coach. Hey, this was a good time, and to everybody watching and listening, we appreciate y'all. Just continue to support Beyond the Blocks. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and tap in with us on Instagram as well. For Coach Will Humphreys and Anthony Lewis, I'm Coach Lonnie D. We got Coach Lamont Johnson, and we just catch y'all on the next episode of Beyond the Blocks.